Support is made possible by Roan, just like the polo I am rocking on today's show. Get 20% off your order by going to roan.com/chatsports. Coming up on today's edition of the Cowboys Report, the latest on Mike McCarthy. As of filming, no decision yet. We'll see if they do the classic Cowboys thing and announce it during one of the NFC's playoff games. A potential Mike Tomlin to Dallas. This idea coming from Jimmy Johnson, by the way, which seems relevant. And Mike Vrabel off the board as a hypothetical Cowboys head coach candidate. Dallas is about a week. It's been over a week, actually, since their season ended. And they don't have a final decision on what they're going to do with their head coaching spot, which is insane to say out loud. So give me your one-word reaction to how the Cowboys have handled all their coaching drama this offseason. Drop that one word for me in the comments of today's show. We'll get to the Mike Tomlin stuff because I do find it interesting since it's Jimmy Johnson mentioning it. And that means it will probably get back to Jerry Jones. But there is potentially conflicting reports here on where things sit between Mike McCarthy, Jerry Jones, and the Cowboys. First, on Friday, Tom Pelissero reported this. After several days of discussions about the season and the future, blah, 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 Jerry Jones and McCarthy remain open to moving forward, and they were set to open talks on Friday on a new contract to keep them in Dallas. Now, Pelissero said at the time there had been no negotiations yet. You know, the Cowboys and McCarthy have until Tuesday to work out a deal before it expires, and then he's a free agent. Now, the upcoming Adam Schefter comments, we'll get to here in just a second, I do want to mention were a day later. Those are on Saturday, and again, as of filming this Sunday evening, just before halftime of the Eagles-Packers playoff game, there's been no new reports from either side. Here's what Adam Schefter said. Haven't been any substantial discussions between Jerry Jones and McCarthy on a future contract. And as long as that's the case, you have to wonder, what is Jerry Jones waiting for? Clearly no deal has been done by now. Jerry must have an idea in his mind, another plan as well, on what he would do if and when Tuesday comes and McCarthy's allowed to talk to other teams like the Chicago Bears. The longer this goes and the less conversation there's about a deal materializing, the more you have to wonder if the two sides are even going to get one. I think it's in question right now at best. Now look, some of this stuff kind of came off as, opinion-y stuff from Adam Schefter. I feel pretty confident saying the Pelissero stuff came from McCarthy's camp, which isn't a bad thing, by the way. But we're still waiting. We're still not sure what the heck's going to happen here. We got a couple days to that firm and fast Tuesday deadline. Then Mike can go talk to the Bears if he wants to. Will McCarthy return as the Cowboys head coach? It's insane we don't have an answer yet, but what do you think ends up happening? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments, pin comments of today's video. Again, the Cowboys process sucks. There's no justifiable, logical reason for it to take as long as it has. It shouldn't be this hard to figure out if you want Mike McCarthy to return. You are the Dallas Cowboys. I get there are potential issues. Hypothetically, who calls the plays? Probably the biggest of which is what's the contract length and the years involved there. Maybe some assistant planning going on there too. But here's the thing. Either he's your guy or he's not. He's been here for 5 years. This should not be a haggling and negotiating and nickel and diming about just what the heck we're going to do here. It doesn't make any sense to me. Either he is your guy, you believe he can get you to a championship, and the years and money don't matter because there's no salary cap on coaches anyway. Give him what he wants. Give him the job security. Give him the confidence outside the organization to get good coaches in here. Or he's not. And you need to move on. And if you don't know that answer, by the way, after 5 years, I think you actually do know the answer. And if both sides are kind of willing to play chicken and say, well, maybe this isn't it, then it's not it. And you should have moved on a week ago so you can start your head coaching process on time and not be playing catch-up. Today's show is made possible. This is kind of the interesting, juicy one. Jimmy Johnson on the Fox post-game show, or I guess Fox pre-game show for them. He's not Fox yet. Suggested Dallas and Pittsburgh flip head coaches, citing things stale in both sides. Jimmy prefaced by saying, I've got no inside information, which I do appreciate given the fact that he's now close again with Jerry Jones, at least to an extent on that front. But things are stale in Pittsburgh. Things are stale in Dallas. Food for thought. How about a coaching swap? Mike McCarthy's a Pittsburgh guy. Let him go to Pittsburgh. Let Mike Tomlin come to Dallas. Both franchises would be excited. I only mention this because it is Jimmy Johnson. He's made the tongue-in-cheek comments about being back in like the circle of confidence type of deal where they at least talk a little bit these days. And that's noteworthy. Now, that doesn't mean I think this actually fixes your issues, even though I think you can make a very strong argument Mike Tomlin is a better coach. So pick a head coach. Who would you rather have? M for Mike McCarthy, T for Mike Tomlin. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. These two coaches, their resumes don't look that different. Both have a Super Bowl. Tomlin's never had a losing season. McCarthy's had more, and Mike's got a couple of 500 seasons. McCarthy actually has a better playoff record, despite being a little bit further behind in the career win columns. The last 5 years, i.e. just McCarthy in Dallas, what Mike Tomlin has done in recent years with Pittsburgh, with admittedly very different quarterback situations and different play caller concerns, although doesn't Tomlin deserve a little bit of that? I do think you have to acknowledge that, though. Tomlin's made more playoffs, 4 out of the past 5, 3 for Mike McCarthy, but Mike Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. It's a very long time. Now, again, the quarterback situations are profoundly different, and I know Tomlin's a big fan of the current guy in Dallas. The Steelers have lost 6 straight playoff games, though. They have been unable to get over the hump. In many ways, it's the Spider-Man meme for the two Mikes. Mike McCarthy, I think, is a floor raiser as a head coach. He will get a team competitive. They won't quit. They won't fight. But I think I speak for a lot of us. I want more than that in Dallas. I don't just want to be a 10-win team. I want playoff wins. I want championship contention. And that can be the exact same thing said about Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. I don't know what Mike Tomlin has shown in recent memory, in frankly a pretty long time, that he will be the guy to suddenly get the Dallas Cowboys over the hump. Quarterback room is very different. I acknowledge that. Tomlin's whiffed on multiple different offensive coordinators and quarterback options. Now, the GM gets blamed for that too. It's not just Tomlin, but results are still the results. A couple more thoughts on this and more coaching drama. But before we get to that, if you haven't already, hit that sub button at youtube.com/Cowboys TV. If the Cowboys do the classic Cowboys thing and make a decision, whether it's Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, we got you covered, whether it's at home or in the office. Hit that sub button right now. Let's go to the updates from out of Pittsburgh on Mike Tomlin. Pittsburgh plans to bring him back, and now Tomlin is under contract through 2027 at about $15 million per year, which I believe is about 3x more than what Mike McCarthy makes per year. Now, Tomlin is not a bad coach. I do want to emphasize that part. It is he's good. He is a good coach. But is he good enough? I think you also could have made a similar argument on the Mike Vrabel side. The Patriots have officially hired Vrabel as their next head coach. And the only reason I bring this up, I know some of you didn't want Vrabel, and I get that. But the Patriots have fired a head coach, hired a new one, before the Dallas Cowboys made a decision on their coach of 5 years. How does that happen? At a certain point, Jerry Jones, at a certain point, Cowboys decision makers, you got to take a chance on something sometime. You can't keep doing the deadlines make deals crap. It's not beneficial to you. Do you know what you want to do or not? Because this kind of makes it seem like they don't actually know what they want to do still. And that just doesn't make sense to me. Because again, the whole process sucks.